Okay, so I'm gonna try some filming when I get home at night, just so I can upload more regularly. The only downside is, of course, that it's nighttime and I have to be more quiet and I'm just more tired in general, so the energy is not gonna be as high. However, for the specific content that I'm gonna be filming for a little bit, I don't think it's gonna matter as much because it's gonna be more technique and practice focus, if that makes any sense. Hello, welcome back to my story. If you did not know, my name is Harley Nouveau. And in today's chapter, we're going to start with that thing I talked about in my last video. I'm going to kind of reacquaint myself with practicing makeup more regularly, doing my makeup more regularly. Obviously, since coronavirus and stuff like that, I have been kind of out of fashion. I've been kind of out of practice. I've been a bit rusty, if you will. And I had a fun idea that I thought would be great for me, informative for you, and just, I don't know, content overall. If you don't know this about me, my idol in the world of beauty is Kevyn Aucoin. Unfortunately, he is deceased, but for me, he was very influential on why I wanted to get into makeup and my perspective on makeup in general. He's very famous, very well known. He's worked with a lot of celebrities. You've probably seen his work if you're familiar with any type of print media surrounding makeup. And there's a cosmetic line that I believe that he founded, or it was founded by his partner, that is still active. And I talk about some of his products occasionally. But he also has some books that he made for aspiring makeup artists. And I think that they are a staple in anybody's collection, not only just to look at, but again, they're very informative, they're very helpful, and they're just great learning tools. The book that is going to be the focus of this series is going to be the Kevyn Aucoin Making Faces. In this book, of course, like the beginning of it is just talking about how he got into beauty, how various types of products work. Like if you go through the book, there's a section on skincare, foundation, concealer, blush, brows, powder, eyes, lips, eyeliner, everything, lashes. It's a very great instructional tool. And I think one day I'm going to kind of break all of that information down just for any of you that may stumble across this channel in hopes that you learn something. But specifically the focus of this series is going to be the second part of this book, which is Kevyn Aucoin breaking down his most iconic looks and how to achieve them. I thought it would be a great activity for me to go through each of those and follow them and then see how it turns out. Not only to get back into the swing of things, but just to, I don't know, have fun, you know, get my groove back. So with all that being said, let's get on with it. So today is obviously the first in this series of looks. So we're just starting right at the beginning and we're going in order. It's easier that way. And that look is this one, Simplicity. I would say that it goes in order least dramatic to most dramatic, but it doesn't. And you'll see as we progress the kind of structure that he's going for with it. But I thought Simplicity would be a great one to start off with. A, because it's first, and B, because it's basic. In his little excerpt, he says, having covered each feature one by one, the next section is a selection of different total looks. Any of these looks can be modified or altered to suit your personal taste or skin tone. I'm going to alter, obviously, like the base products to fit me more than the models he's using. Other than that, I'm going to try not to alter it at all because I want to stay as true to the base material as possible. Mix different looks together or pick just one aspect of the face that appeals to you. But most of all, have fun. The first look is all about radiance. Chandra's skin was enhanced using only a small amount of carefully placed concealer and a liquid blush. This approach is the most natural next to wearing nothing look, which is always an option. For those who prefer the unmade up look, this is a nice choice. For this look, what you need is a concealer. I'm using the Pretty Fresh concealer in Fair 20. This is the most close to my actual skin tone, and I think it leaves a good finish on the skin. A beauty sponge. Now, when his book talks about beauty sponges, he means those disposable sponges you might have seen your mom use, or you might have used back in the day if you're a little more mature, but I'm just using a blender. A soft brown cream eyeshadow. This is the Maybelline Color Tattoo, and this is in color Urbanite. A sponge tip applicator. I'm not using that. This is where we're gonna get some freedom. I think those are disgusting, and you are not gonna see me go out of my way to buy one just to throw it away. Instead, I'm gonna be using a mixture of just a eyeshadow brush. This is Wet n Wild, and my finger, of course. An eyelash curler. I don't know where the heck I got this. A black mascara. This is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. A flesh tone lip pencil. This is by Bodyography, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I got it in my makeup kit whenever I got my esthetician's license, and I still have it. It's actually one of the few lip liners I own, so that's why I have to use it. Lastly, a liquid blusher. This is from Rare Beauty, and this is in the color Bliss. So with all of those materials, we're gonna get started with the look. So step one, it says carefully apply concealer sparingly to even out the skin tone and remove any discoloration or redness. Now sparingly is the key word here, and I'm not really, I'm known for being sparing with some of my products, but not others. I have, as you know, rosacea, so my face is a little pink in general. So I'm just gonna work in tinier sections. I really need to get some new mirrors because I don't want to keep using my Jeffree Star ones, and I don't own any other hand mirrors. I've just been using like little makeup compacts with mirrors in them. This is my Honest Beauty one. I didn't do my brows today because it says not to do brows. So I actually took off the brows that I wore to school and figured I would just do this the way it was designed. Now, some of these areas, because obviously I've read this book before, are going to be not as covered with the concealer because I know that I'm going to go in with blush on those areas after. So it's not as important. And then I want to avoid getting too much concealer on my under eye, only because it'll crease. And I don't have any loose powder with this look. But I still have pretty heavy dark circles. So I want to add some layer of coverage. Okay. Can you even tell I have anything on? You know, it actually says in the top corner of this, challenge yourself. If you're used to wearing a full face of makeup every day, try the minimal amount that you feel comfortable with, and vice versa. If you never wear makeup at all, try a dark lip or a smoky eye. As you know, in 2021, makeup has gotten pretty heavy compared to the way it used to be back in the 90s and 80s when Kevyn Aucoin was more popular. And not that I think he'd have a problem with that, because he was always very adamant about there being no rules in makeup. I think that if I had to take a guess, he probably has been influential on a lot of professional makeup artists turned YouTubers. Robert Welch talks all the time about there being a theory of makeup but no rules, which is something famous that Kevyn Aucoin said. So I would gander that he's probably familiar with him. But that's neither here nor there. Step 2. Soft brown cream eyeshadow in the crease of the eyelid from the inner to the outer corner. Blend well. Now, looking at this picture, it looks like it's literally just this way, so I'm not going to bring that inward any, which is weird for me. So taking that Maybelline Color Tattoo, I'm going to just dip my brush in here and go in. This is actually going to be my first time ever working with cream eyeshadow. I've obviously done like liquid lipsticks, but never an actual dedicated cream shadow. And it is, as you can see, a nice flush of color. Which makes sense because this look is called Simplicity. So you really wouldn't know that there was much makeup on, if any, when you're done. I'm going to try a little bit of my finger to see how much of an effect that gives, which did increase the opacity quite a bit. I'm just working on getting it even. I will say that this is causing me to think more carefully about how I place my makeup. Because as you know, I have hooded eyes, and when I open them, it's covering a lot of the cream. Okay, that is step 2 completed. I feel like it looks a bit wonky, but it's hard to tell with my lighting in this room. Up close, it looks pretty even to me. Slightly different eye shape on each side as most of us do, so that could be part of the problem. Moving on to step 3. After curling lashes, apply a light coat of mascara. For this photo, I only did the top lashes, he says. So we're just going to do a curl and mascara application to the top lash. Taking my curler, which I've used maybe like twice in my whole life. Now, I've seen there's like an actual technique to doing this, but hell if I know it. I think it's like you start at the bottom and then you squeeze your way up. Honestly, I'm not seeing much of a difference from just the curl. But who am I to question the great? So getting my mascara, let me just apply some to the top. I'm gonna try to be really careful with this because I'm usually horrible at mascara on myself. I never get all the way to the base. Or I get too close and accidentally touch my eye. I honestly love this mascara. One of these days, I think I'm going to do a breakdown of the history and life of Kevyn Aucoin. Maybe even just famous people in makeup in general, or icons of beauty. Because like while my channel is about having fun and being me, part of my personality is I'm obsessed with knowledge. I'm a bit of a nerd, so that'd be something I'd be interested in. Maybe once I'm done with school and I'm back out on my own. You guys ever have one side that you're better at applying mascara on? Mine's always my left eye. Step 4. Apply your pink liquid blush to the cheeks, temples, chin, and lips. Now you guys know I love blush, so I'm really excited for how this will turn out. Now this blush is very pigmented, so I'm going to use my sponge to make sure it's not too crazy. There's cheek. Didn't say where on the cheek, so I'm not technically cheating here. Although I know that everyone was really into the ball apple of the cheek, but I just don't like that look on me. Chin. This is a trick I do normally anyway with powder blushes. It's the chin. I feel like it really gives life to the face. And then the temples, which I believe is here. And then the lips, they said. Now, I know that Gigi Good contours with blush, and I believe there are a few makeup artists that popularized that trend. So that's kind of what we're doing here by putting it on my temple. Looking very blushy. I feel like, to me, it's borderline negating the purpose of using all of that concealer in the first place. But who am I to question the master? These Rare Beauty blushes do dry very fast, so you have to really work quickly. But they have like a powdery finish. Not me taking an hour to follow this tutorial. And then finally, use a fleshed toned lip pencil to even out the lip shape and fill in softly. It says this is optional, but looking at the photo, I feel like it does look like, as I whack myself in the face, that they did that. So I'm gonna do that. I'm honestly just reminded by this. I'm just reminded how much I hate the Bodyography lip liners. I need to get better ones. So, this is the finished look. I'm not going to do that slow-mo thing. I haven't figured out how to do it well. Obviously, I look different than this lady because, you know, she's a model and I'm me, and this has better photographic quality and I don't. But that aside, I actually really like how it turned out. Obviously, it's very natural. I do think I might have went a tad too heavy on the blush on my temples, but I'm sure that Jocelyn's going to watch this video and she's going to tell me that I look like I have no blush on, and that's how that normally goes. But there you go. If you followed along at home, you now have Simplicity, a natural, barely there makeup by Kevyn Aucoin. Yeah, I'm kind of into it, honestly. It's very different from what I would normally do, especially the lashes. But there are things I definitely like about it, like the blush and the lip, honestly. Oh, by the way, here are my new earrings. They're stars because I'm tacky. So with all of that being said, I want to thank you guys for stopping in and joining me in the first episode in my series, Making Faces by Kevyn Aucoin. This has been Simplicity, and as always, I am Harley Nouveau, and I wish you every happiness until our stars next align.